What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Ben. I talk movies, I talk TV, and I talk the entertainment side of business. I work in the industry, so I think I have a kind of a cool perspective on everything. But if you're new here, please comment, like, subscribe, do that YouTube stuff. I really appreciate it. Every time I get like a new subscriber, it's like a really cool day for me. So I appreciate it. And to my current subscribers, thank you so much for watching. I know you got a lot that you could choose from. I know I'm really small. So thank you so much. Let's get into it. So last week I rewatched Men in Black for the first time in like 10-20 years. It's been a long time. And first off, it holds up. It's really good. I'm not talking trash on an old movie. Like it doesn't like, it's not like the effects age. It's not like the humor. It doesn't work in today's modern like culture. Like it still is really good. But it does do quite a bit of things that like I don't think would like fly in today's like modern movie culture. Like they'd get ripped apart like online for it. Like they just do things that like I don't think like current movies do, current executives would be okay with, current studios would be okay with. Like the movie landscape is like kind of changed quite a bit. So I just want to break down like a few plot elements and a few like character elements that I don't think would fly in today's like modern movie world. So first off, this movie is like a tight hour and 38 minutes. Like that is like unheard of in today's like day and age of movies. Like I personally do think that movies are like a little bit too long. Like I'm not gonna like complain if a movie is 2.5 hours and like it doesn't feel like 2.5 hours. Like Oppenheimer, I still watched, I still enjoyed, and like I wasn't like concerned with the runtime. Like that's how much time was needed for that movie. But like in general, I think that movies are too long. They're not as like economical as they used to be. But like this movie is like an hour and 38, very tight. It sets up a whole world, and like the more you break it down, the more like that runtime is just more and more insane. First off, like the whole like first 3 minutes are just like opening credits, and like you would just watch a fly like go through like the world. Like it doesn't set up any type of plot. It sets up like the vibes of the movie, which kind of works. But like 3 minutes are just completely like kind of wasted. I don't want to say wasted because like main credits are important. It's important that these people work on things, but like it's not like it does anything for the plot, right? It's just like 3 minutes of a bug flying around. So really it's an hour and 35 minutes, but like including credits. So like maybe an hour and 25, maybe an hour and a half, like just to get through this movie. Like it's very tight, very incredible. And this runtime is like even more incredible because like these two main characters have two like completely separate introductions, like completely away from each other. Like Kay, we have like the very opening beginning when they like look at like the illegal immigrants and they find the alien, and then they have Jay like start jumping for the guy, running after him, running after the criminal. So like they're two completely separate. Usually I feel like in today's like modern movies, it's like if you're gonna have multiple like characters, you'll have one main character, they'll have their intro, they'll like go through their lives, and then they'll casually meet the next main character, and like that's what their introduction will be, because it just saves screen time, right? And it just like they have two separate ones. It's insane, and it doesn't feel like it's short in any type of way. Like they are two completely separate and they come like together pretty nicely. Like, and like that runtime of like an hour and 38 is just insane that they have these two separate intros and it still like works. It still is really tight. And this next thing I'm going to talk about is usually associated with like bad movies, but there's like no character arcs in this movie whatsoever. Like I'm not saying every movie needs to like do this, but like there's no character arcs. Like Jay, he's like pretty much like the same character as he is at the beginning of the movie and at the end. Like mentally, he doesn't go through like a growth arc. He doesn't like have something that he wants, but he actually needs something different. Like he's pretty much the same character. Like he starts off as like a cop. Yeah, he becomes an agent. He changes from there, but like internally, he doesn't really change. Same kind of thing with Kay too. Like if anything, it's more of Kay's movie, like character wise, because like he wants to go back to civilian life. He needs to give up like the agent life, but then that kind of gets thrown away when like at the very end he's like, oh, this was always the plan all along. I was looking for my replacement, not my partner's replacement. Unless it was like, you know, internally he was like, oh, I'm looking for my partner's replacement. Oh, this kid can do it. I'm okay with giving up this and going back to civilian life, right? Like there's no character arcs. Like Kay's the same, Jay's the same, and it just kind of shows that you can get away with a lot of things in movies as long as things are fun. And I'm not saying like movies should not have character arcs, right? Like I'm not saying that, like they absolutely should, but it does show that you can kind of get away with a lot of different things if like the movie is fun and the movie like keeps you entertained, right? Like the plot in this movie is, like I said, it's incredibly tight. A lot of things happen in this movie and it takes place in the course of like a day. So all of this like unloads onto these characters and they're constantly like receiving this news and reacting and changing their tactic based off of what they learn. And like that's a really tight movie. It's not like anything happens by coincidence. It's not like, you know, they like get lucky at some point in time that like changes the entire plot of the movie. They are getting like problems over and over again, and they keep having to change whatever they're wanting to do before in order to achieve their goal, which is like perfect movie telling, right? But there's still no character arcs in this. And it really shows that like there's no rules in like screenwriting, there's no rules in movie making. As long as it's fun and entertaining, you can do it. You can get away with it. Or maybe I'm like incredibly stupid and there is a clear arc. If you could see it, let me know. Drop a comment below. Or if you're Ed Solomon, the screenwriter, let me know. I'd be very more than happy to hear your perspective. I also noticed that like this whole third act of the movie is really, really small. It's really contained, which is completely the opposite of like any blockbuster movie nowadays. Don't get me wrong, like the stakes are still there, right? Like the aliens are like, we want the galaxy back or else we'll destroy the Earth. Everyone will die. Aliens are fleeing because they know the Earth is toast and they don't know how to get the galaxy back. But like the entire third act, like as an action set piece, is like so tiny. It's so small. Essentially all that happens is they fire their guns one time at the spaceship. It comes crashing down, then the bug comes out, and then K gets eaten. He's completely gone, and J just kind of needs to distract him for a little bit. He mostly gets like thrown around over and over again. Like, and that's all the third act really is until K gets his gun back and blows him from the inside out. But like in a modern movie, like I guarantee you every exec would see that and be like, what is this? It's so tiny. Like where's like the big action set piece? Where's like a lot of CGI? Where's like the complicated like way to solve our problem? Like it's just so simple. It's, I need to get my gun, you distract him. Jay's like just getting thrown around until he finally finds the bugs that like he can step on. And that's it. Like that's the entire third act, at least like for the battle. And that would just never fly in today's movies. Like it'd be so small. I guarantee you that like no one would be okay with that. But it shows that like you can have high stakes and still do a small little piece, and like the stakes are still there. And that's why it's like fascinating to watch this again and just like kind of learn from it. And the last thing that this movie did that like movies just don't do nowadays is they had a killer song to play at the end credits, made specifically for the movie, and like the song references the movie in like its lyrics, and then they create like a music video where like maybe the artist is in the actual movie or like they're just playing a character in the movie and like clips are playing from the movie. Like I miss that so much. I want that back. I don't understand why we lost that. It's such a fun part of movies. Yeah, it's a little cheesy, especially like if the title is like the main song, but it's so much fun. Like I want that back. Like let's bring fun back to these movies, please. So that's what I learned from like watching Men in Black and rewatching it and breaking it down. It's really cool, and I kind of hope we see some of those elements come back into like modern movies and kind of like combine them. I think that'd be really cool, and I think that'd be really helpful for like today's world. If you want to rewatch Men in Black and you do and you have some thoughts on it, let me know. Drop in the comments. Maybe the movie didn't hold up for you, maybe it did, maybe like some of the things I talked about are like glaringly obvious and it kind of ruined it for you, or you just didn't realize it before. Let me know. I love talking movies, I love talking TV, as long as it's like civil and we don't like just trash talk things. These things are hard to make, keep that in mind. I'm all ears. So thank you for watching. Like I said, I know you got a lot of choices to choose from, so I appreciate every one of you for like tuning in. It's definitely really cool. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.